Okay guys, today we are going to be talking about solving systems of equations using Gaussian elimination, okay? So when you think of systems of equation, like tell me what comes to mind.
Like two equations and two unknowns.
Two equations and two unknowns. In that we just do substitution or elimination. Three equations and three unknowns, you can kind of work it with substitution or elimination, but if it goes beyond that, it's hard and you need a better tool. And so what we do is we use Gaussian elimination. And so we're going to do an example of four equations and four unknowns. Okay, and we're going to do it with Gaussian elimination. So we're going to have y plus z minus 2w equals minus 3, x plus 2y minus z equals 2, 2x plus 4y plus z minus 3w equals minus 2, x minus 4y minus 7z minus w equals minus 19. Okay, four equations, four unknowns. What's the first thing that we need to do?
We need to make all the equations the same.
Yeah, so we need to put it in augmented form, right? We need to put it in augmented form, and that basically means we put everything in the same order and we put in placeholders for the ones that aren't there. All right, so what would we write this first one as in augmented form?
That would be
0, x
plus y
plus z
minus
2w
equals negative 3.
equal negative 3. Okay, so now I've got 4. I've got placeholders. If you'll take the time to do this step, it'll really help you get off to the setting it up right. Okay, Emmy Grace, give me the next one.
So we'll have x plus 2y minus z plus 0w equals 2.
Okay, x plus 2y minus z plus 0w. So you're putting in those missing terms. Catherine, would you do the next one?
The next one, it will be 2x plus 4y plus z minus 3w equals negative 2.
Okay, 2x plus 4y plus z minus 3w is minus 2. And then Emmy Grace, do the last one, please.
So it'd be x minus 4y minus 7z minus w equals negative 19.
Okay, x minus 4y minus 7z minus w equals minus 19. So you see how we have it nice and square and lined up? And so now we are going to make the augmented matrix. And what we do is the matrix is going to be 4 rows by 5 columns. So we're just going to put these into a matrix. And so we're going to go 0, or go ahead, Emmy, you give me the first row.
So it'd be 0, 1, 1, negative 2, negative 3.
Okay, and put the dots here to show that this is like where the equal sign is. So you're just taking the coefficients when you've got them all in order. So it goes x, y, z, w, x, y, z, w, x, y, z, w, x, y, z, w. Everything is lined up. And so now we can just pull the numbers off. 0, 1, 1, minus 2, minus 3. 0, 1, 1, minus 2, minus 3. Okay, Catherine, give me the next row, please.
It'll be 1, 2, negative 1, 0, and 2.
Okay, with the colon in there.
Yes.
Emmy, you want to give me the next one?
2,
Okay.
4, 1, negative 3, negative 2.
Okay. So 2, 4, 1, negative 3, negative 2. And Catherine, the last one?
1, negative 4, negative 7, 1, negative 19.
Negative 19. Okay.
It's going to be negative 1.
Okay, negative 1. Thank you.
Oh, that is a negative 1.
Okay. 1, negative 4, negative 7, negative 1, negative 19. Okay, this is your augmented matrix. So what you want to do the Gaussian elimination, I want to get what along the diagonal.
1.
1. So I want a 1 here, a 1 here, a 1 here, a 1 here. And then before the 1 on that row, those all need to be whats?
Zeros.
Zeros. Yes.
Oh, well, okay, never mind.
Okay,
Finish
yeah,
talking 'cause I
you see something that you want to do, and that's good, because I really want you to say it, but what I want everyone to see is yeah, you see it too, right? That you want to be smart, that there's a lot of different ways you can work it to the right answer, but you want to find little tricks that will make it easy. Now, what are the 3 things you can do? You can swap rows.
You can multiply a row by a constant except for 0.
Yeah. Okay, so you can swap rows. Rule number 1 is you can swap rows. Rule number 2 is you can multiply a given row all the way across by a constant except 0. Can't multiply by 0. And the third thing is you can
add
what?
a multiple of one row to another.
You can add a multiple of one row to another. So you use those 3 rules to get zeros and then ones along the diagonal. And so what is it that you're just dying to tell me to do?
So if we swap row 1 and 2, then you already have your 1 in the beginning.
Yeah.
And 0, 1.
And then the 1 row is done, the first row is done.
And the second one too.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so what do we always do? We put to the outside here what we're
doing.
fixing to do. So what would I do? I would go like that, showing that. Which rule am I using?
Rule 1.
Rule 1, swapping rows. Okay. So then I'm going to have 1, 2, minus 1, 0, colon 2, and then I'm going to have 0, 1, 1, minus 2, minus 3. And then I'm going to have 2, 4, 1, minus 3, minus 2, 1, minus 4, minus 7, minus 1, minus 19. Okay, so tell me here, like, why am I happy, and then why am I even happier? What about, I didn't have to do anything but swap rows, and what can you tell me about the first row?
It's correct.
It's done.
It's done. What can you tell me about the second row?
It's done.
It's done too, because I have a 1 on the diagonal, and I have a leading 0, and so that was kind of a freebie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you get lucky. What row do I need to start dealing with now?
Now you need to deal with row 3.
Okay, on row 3. Now, am I going to try to get this to 1, or what do I need to do first?
You need to get zeros
Yeah.
in front of it.
So which one should,
So
You
you
need to
could,
get rid of 2.
I need to get rid of 2.
so you could do minus 2 times row 1.
Minus 2 times row 1. Because then this would be minus 2, that would take that to 0. So what operation am I doing? Minus 2 times row 1. And we write it there. So when you come in and ask me for help, if you need help, I'll look and I'll say, oh, I see what she did. She did this. Okay, so now we are going to come over here. Does anything happen to row 1? No, it's done. 1, 2, minus 10. What did I do here? Oh, that's a 0, right? I'm sorry. 1,
Yes.
2, minus 1, 0, and 2. And then 0, 1, 1, minus 2, minus 3. Now I'm going to subtract twice of row 1. So give me what that's going to be. Give me.
So it'd be like 2 minus 2 times 1.
Okay, which
So
is
it would
0.
be 0.
Okay.
And then it'll be 4 minus 2 times 2, which will be 0.
Ah, okay. And then.
And then
1 minus 2 times 2 is 4, so that's negative 3.
Okay, let's think. No.
1 minus 2 times negative 1.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
So
1 minus 2, so that would be 1 minus 2 times negative 1, that would be 1 plus 2, right?
Mm-hmm. So it'd be 3.
It'd be 3, and then minus 3 minus 2 times 0,
Is minus 3.
minus 3, and then minus 2 minus 2 minus 2 times 2, that's minus 2 minus 4 is?
Negative 6.
Negative 6. Okay. I wish I could be neater up here, right? I wish I could be neater up here. All right, 2, so we go to 0, 0, 3, minus 3, minus 6.
you can multiply it by 1/3.
Yeah. Should we go ahead and work on this one in the same step to get rid of this one, the 1? Okay. So that, right. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yes.
So I want to get rid of this, so what am I going to do? I
So
want to
it'd be minus row 1.
minus row 1. And so 1 minus 1 is
0.
0.
4 minus 2 is
It's a negative 4, so it'll be a negative 6.
negative 4. Oh, thank you. Negative 4 minus 2 is negative 6. Negative 7 minus a minus 1 is
Negative 6.
negative 6. Minus 1 minus 0,
Minus 1.
minus 1. Minus 19 minus 2,
Negative 21.
negative 21. Okay, so I think that looks good. I think that looks good.
So do we, on this next step, want to go ahead and multiply row 3 by 1/3?
I think I would multiply row 3 by 1/3,
And then
and then I got to come and I got to
you can do minus 6 times,
yeah, or
times
minus
row 2.
So it'd be
minus
or
plus
plus
6
6
times row 2.
no. Oh, row 2. Boom.
I
I'm
was
sorry.
like row 2.
I was like, row 2!
Okay, I was thinking row 1 and you were thinking row 2. Which one is right?
Row 2.
Either one is right.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, so either one is okay, but it's just we were thinking about different rows, so we were saying different things, and we can do it your way. Okay, but do you see? Is it okay to work it a couple of rows at a time if we're careful?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna first of all we're gonna come back with row 1. So you guys tell me row 1.
That's 1, 2, negative 1, 0, 2.
Okay, and tell me row 2.
0, 1, 1, negative 2, negative 3.
Negative 3. Okay, tell me row 3. Or is row 3 the one we're working on?
Well, we're
So-
going to do row 3 times 1/3.
Times 1/3. Okay.
So we'll have 0,
0,
0,
0,
1,
1,
negative 1,
negative 1,
negative 2.
negative 2. So I took this by 1/3. Now look, I've got a 1, I've got a 0, 1, I've got a 0, 0, 1. My first 3 rows are done.
Mm-hmm.
Right, my first 3 rows are done.
And
Now,
see, if you use the row 2 instead of row 1, you can get both those zeros, both those 6s to 0s in one step.
okay. So you see, you're being what?
Smart.
Smart. Okay, you're looking for little things that'll make it go quicker. So I'm going to say, I'm going to add 6 times row 2. So this row, I'm going to add 6 times row 2. And so that is going to be a 0, okay? And then negative 6 plus 6 times row 2 would be negative 6 plus 6 times 1 would be 0. And uh-oh, look at this. Negative 6 plus 6 times 1 is 0. And negative 1 plus 6 times negative 2, that would be negative 1 minus 12, right?
Mm-hmm. So
That would be negative 13. And then negative 21 minus 18 would be 39. Negative 39, right?
That's
So-
divisible by 13.
You saw that, right? It's like, what's happening here? Some magic.
Yes.
Okay. So you see, what are you doing? You're looking for little shortcuts. It's kind of like a puzzle. And if you'll do it that way, you can do it in sometimes a third of the steps. And if you do it in a third of the steps, then it's less likely you're going to make a mistake. Okay, what do you want to do now to this row's finished, that row's finished, that row's finished. What do you want to do to this row?
Times
to multiply it by
1.
negative 1 over 13.
Negative 1 over 13. Okay? So now I'm going to have 1, 2, minus 1, 0, and 2. 0, 1, 1, minus 2, minus 3. 0, 0, 1, minus 1, minus 2, and now 0, 0, 0, 1, and 3. Okay? Boom! Kind of some magic. Now, we have done Gaussian elimination, right? We have done Gaussian elimination. And also what you can say is that this is now in row echelon form, right? By doing Gaussian elimination, we have it in row echelon form where the leading number on each row is a 1, and the 1s go down a diagonal, and the things before the 1s are zeros. So tell me right off the bat, what can you tell me by looking at this bottom row?
W equals 3.
W equals 3 because this is kind of like X, Y, Z, W. And so 1 times W dot dot 3, that means 1 times W equals 3. So W equals 3. All right, I'm going to make myself room up here to work so you guys can see well. Okay. So now, what row do I work with? Row what?
Now you work with row Z.
Row, yeah, but row 3.
Well, yes.
Okay. So now, if I have 1 minus 1 minus 2, how does that turn into? So on row 3,
Z.
so it would be X, Y, Z. So it's 1 times Z. Okay. And then what?
It would be
minus
1 times W.
Minus 1 times W is equal to?
-2.
Negative 2.
And you know what W is.
I know what W is, so I put in 3 for W because we already did that. So 1Z minus 1 times 3 is minus 3 is equal to minus 2. Z is equal to 1.
Yes.
Am I wrong?
No.
Okay, Z is equal to 1. We'll put that over here. Z is equal to 1. I'm going to write that lower. W is equal to what?
3.
3.
Z is equal to 1.
Z is equal to 1. And I still have to figure out X and Y. So I'm going to get Y by looking at which row?
Row 2.
Row 2. Okay? So we're going to look at row 2. So read me the equation off of row 2.
It's going to be 1y
1
plus
times
1z.
Y. So that's 1y. I mean, it's 1y. Okay, it's that 1 times y. All right.
plus 1z
Plus 1z
minus 2 times w
minus 2 times w
equals -3.
equals -3. Now, what's the good news?
We have
We
W
know
and
z
Z.
and w.
Okay, so y is equal to 1 times z, which is 1. I mean, y plus 1 times z is
1.
1 minus 2 times w, which is 3. So minus 2 times 3 would be minus 6 is equal to -3. So y is equal to, this would be minus 5, add it to minus 3, and I get
2.
2, positive 2. Okay, so I add 6 over here and I get 3, I subtract 1 and I get 2. So I have y is equal to 2. All right, now,
We have to find X.
are we doing this right?
Yes.
Where am I? I'm just trying to look on my notes to make sure that we haven't made a mistake somewhere along the way. 3, 1, 2. Yeah, we're doing it right. So now I got to work with which row?
1.
Okay, so what are you going to tell me?
So you have 1X
Okay, because we're working now.
plus 2Y.
Let me just make sure they understand. So we're working now with this one. Okay, so 1 times x plus 2 times y is what you told me, right? Plus
Yes,
2 times y
minus 1Z
minus 1z.
plus 0W.
So we'll just leave that out, and that's equal to
2.
2. So then x plus, what's 2 times y? Y is
4.
2. 2 times 2 is 4. Minus 1 times z. Z is 1, so that's minus 1 is equal to 2. X is equal to, let's see if this is 3. I would subtract 3 from both sides. So
-1.
-1. Boom. You get that?
Yes, sir.
Now, some people think this is like the most horrible, terrible, like hate this worse than anything. But is it just a little bit fun? A little bit like a puzzle?
It's kind of satisfying.
I mean, look at this, right? The only thing you have to do is be careful when you're doing like a 1 minus a -3 times negative. Make sure that you don't goof up the math there, okay? And you guys got the right answer. All right, so we're going to do some homework, 68 through 70, 73 through 74, okay?
Yes, sir.